First of all, thank you, Mark, for a very nice and kind introduction. It's always a big pleasure and privilege to be here, and thank the organizers for this excellent conference, as always, as usually. I will keep my presentation short, and my predecessor, in a very nice and inspiring presentation, said many wonderful things. One is strikingly truth. Every one of us, every country will claim that his or her country is the best, the most beautiful, the most advanced. In the case of Seychelles, you saw it really has a lot of ground for that. I will not be an exception. I will speak on behalf of my country with all the best things you can imagine. Now, one may say, why would somebody make business with a country like Croatia? Since this is an economic congress, I will limit my observations to the economic part of my country. Most of you either know exactly where Croatia is or have visited the country. It is a small country. It is not 86,000, which is extremely small, but it's 4.3 million. Even in European terms, it is a small country. But it is situated very pleasantly. It's in the center. It's in the heart of Europe. And when you want to define the country, usually politically, you see us in the conferences being a part of a region of Southeastern Europe. But Croatia is basically composed of various elements. Part of it is a typical Central European country. Part of it is a typical Mediterranean, South European country. Part of it is a Danubian or Pannonian flatland part of Europe. So it's a mixture of all kinds of geographical positions. It's a mixture of traditions, it's a mixture of cultures and history. But we try and we made it. We turned it into our big advantage. The geographical position is in the heart of everything. And whenever you travel from Eastern Europe to Western Europe, from Northern to Southern, or wherever, more or less you have to cross through Croatia. Economically, it really is and can be and should be an advantage. Now, what is important to make good business with a certain country? There are certain elements. First of all, it is a political stability. If you don't have a political stability, and nowadays we witness very dangerous and tragic events in some parts of the world as usually, but also in Europe, you will not have an environment to do business. Croatia is a very politically stable country. The whole region is stabilized. You know that we had troubles. We had an open war 20 years, 25 years ago. It's far behind us. The whole setting, the whole region is politically, economically stable. More than that, Croatia is the youngest, the most recent member of the European Union. We wouldn't become the member if we were not politically and economically stable. Croatia is part of NATO, which means that no military exercises or stupidities are possible. So it is a solid ground for doing business. What are the advantages to do business with Croatia? I mentioned the geographical position, which means that transportation is extremely important. We have some very developed old, but not old-fashioned harbors. We have a net of highways. We have almost 30,000 kilometers of very good roads, almost 3,000 kilometers of railroads. So it is really easy to access every point in the country. We are proud to have a very, very qualified labor. Our people were traditionally very well educated, very well crafted. Many of them study. My hometown, which is the capital, traditionally, since I was born, and even before that, every year has between 40 and 50,000 students. So the population is relatively young and well educated. And of course, it is due to the history and due to the position, a normal thing that everybody speaks languages. Younger generations, your generation, everybody speaks English. In most of the country, people speak second language as well, be it German in the north or Italian in the south. So when you decide to travel, be it as a tourist, be it as young businessman, student, scientist, you will always find an very easily partner to speak with. And the tradition of industry. It was always, since the times when we were part of Austro-Hungarian monarchy, an industrial country. So the way of production is very well established, and it's easy to make business. You will always find local people who are very, very skillful and dedicated. Now, what are the biggest branches of economy? Industry, as I mentioned, pharmaceutical industry, metal industry, wood industry, food production. Big flat part of the country, which is in the northern part of the country, about 50%, is excellent for agriculture, and it is not polluted. It is a very clean way of food production, rich land, and really, when you come as tourists or business people, you will enjoy the food and wine, so I guarantee for that. Tourism is extremely important. Tourism contributes about 15% in our GDP. And since we are in the tourist week in Berlin, and the ministers are here from the big portion of them from the touristic branch, I cannot skip to say that last year we had a revenue of 7 billion euros, and we plan to double it by 2020. For a country of our size, it is much. What are the advantages of our touristic offering? Everybody knows, particularly in Europe, beautiful coast. I guess you don't know how many islands we have. Less than the Philippines, but more than any other country in Europe. 1,246, which is, I think, in the world top 10. And many of them are extremely suitable for tourism. It is very developed, infrastructure is good, not to mention climate, hospitality of the people, and all the offers we have. Let me mention 61 of big marinas and facilities that are spread along the coast and islands included. Now, the diversity of the country, the beauty of the country is not only along the beach. We have 8 national parks. It's very much for the country of size of Croatia. We have 10 cultural heritage and 7 cultural and natural heritage spots included on the UNESCO list. So it is really a richness. Investment in tourism. We have a delegation here, of course, as many countries do these days in Berlin, and we offer really excellent opportunities for the investment in that sector. Now, in spite of the certain problems that all of us experienced some years ago, in the crisis 2008, 2009, the investment possibilities are growing, they are rich, and I'm happy to recognize the former Minister of Finance of Croatia here. I welcome her she can witness that in spite of all the problems, Croatia is a country of a great, great potential, great possibilities, right? And to bring my presentation to the end, I invite you to come, to visit, be as tourists, be as young experts, be as friends and colleagues, see the country, and in their future lives, make business with Croatia. And of course, I'm open to any possible question from the floor. Thank you.
Okay, so we are a little bit tight on time, but still I would like to take a couple of questions maybe from the audience or comments. Who would like to go first? Yeah, welcome.
Good morning. My name is Julia. I'm from Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for your presentation. Yesterday we heard a little bit about Croatia's economy. Yesterday we heard a lot about Croatia's economy and some of the struggles that youth are facing in particular and unemployment. And I was just wondering if you could speak to that from the perspective of the tourism industry. And I just wonder if there's so many beautiful things to see and do. I'd love to go to Croatia myself.
You should.
But I just feel like there's got to be there's a piece missing. And how can my visit to Croatia support the economy, especially the youth population?
Indeed, the unemployment rate is high at the moment. It's about 18%. You know, there's different methodologies, so you can read the different figures, but it is 18%. Particularly the youth unemployment is high. But creation of jobs, particularly youth employment, is a process. It doesn't go overnight. The crisis can come overnight, can last several years, which is our case. But when you create new jobs, it takes several elements. It takes investments. It takes investment climate. It takes stabilization of a budget. And all these elements are underway. We are not there yet, but we are very, very much optimistic. So coming not only touristically, you will support with your spending economically, but try to create some project. There are projects which are offered for investments. You can engage with Croatian young people with the small and medium-sized enterprises. Connect with them and you will find a fertile soil for cooperation. There are a lot of ideas. Young people are innovative, particularly in the times of crisis. When you are in a crisis, you get the ideas you would never think of when you are in a stable environment. The crisis is a bad thing, but it really develops imagination and innovation. And that's what we are trying to support with the help of young people like yourself.
Okay, one last comment in the back.
My name is Ranko. I'm coming from Croatia, Dubrovnik.
Okay.
I completely agree that we did a lot in tourism field, but my question is, should we have like more comprehensive plan to focus more on specific tourism? Like coming from Dubrovnik, we are facing the question of focusing on mass tourism, focusing on elite tourism. Like, what's your opinion about that? Thank you.
Yes, indeed, this is a question of strategic choice. You can go into direction of elite tourism, or you can go into direction of mass tourism, but it is not either or. I mentioned that we are a small country, but we are not that small not to be able to develop both or even more types of tourism. You can have elite tourism in certain spots, in certain areas, or in certain locations. You can have mass tourism in some others. And you can have very, very specific parts of tourism. Diving was, for example, hiking, whatever. You can find all kinds of diversities in Croatia. So there are opportunities for more than one type of tourism. And I would add to that, and that also was mentioned by my predecessor here. If you put all eggs in one basket, you will not get success. If you have only mass tourism, you will have limitations. If you try only to get elite tourism, you will lose the mass. So you can combine it. There's space, there are facilities, there's technology for all of it. Just to mention, we have projects which we hope will start running in the, you mentioned you come from Dubrovnik, with golf terrains, with elite tourism in Brijuni or Srđ or wherever. So you can combine it, and it's beneficial for everybody.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Vilovic, we're out of time, but I want to take once again the opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to you for your continued support of the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy and for coming today to help us to represent Croatia even more in the framework of the Berlin International Economics Congress. So if you can please join in expressing our sincere gratitude to His Excellency Ambassador Ranko Vilovic. Thank you.